Hey, how's it going? My name is jackiefishhh and welcome back to some more Total War Warhammer. Today we're going to be trying another one of these AI only videos where I basically just play the campaign in the background and bring you guys the interesting features and feats that happen during the campaign. We're also going to be using Steel Faith Overhaul, and I thought this would be a great opportunity to test another style of these videos, as these videos are very much a work in progress, a learning curve, just to basically decide what you guys enjoy the most. So in this video, we're not going to be doing any of the time-lapse stuff in the background. However, we are going to be running through the entire campaign, and I'm basically going to be stopping at certain points being like, oh look, the Empire's done this. Oh look, look at this huge Empire in Ulth 1. That's what we're basically going to be doing. So do let me know in the comments down below, and I'll also leave a poll, a straw poll down below as well. Let me know what one you prefer. Do you prefer this kind of variant of the video, obviously after you've watched it, or do you prefer the previous one, which again I'll link down below if you haven't seen it already, where it's more of just like a time lapse and me talking. So I'd really appreciate your feedback. Or do you prefer something like in between? Maybe we have the time lapse going on and then I kind of jump into the saves and talk about stuff as it's going on. Please do let me know, and let's get just straight into the campaign. So, starting off the campaign, I don't think Steel Faith changes anything dramatically, at least where the factions start. I believe everyone kind of starts in the exact same position, and one of the really nice things about doing it this way, over than just the normal time-lapse, is I can move the camera. Obviously, the entirety of Multiple Empires doesn't actually fit on the map at one time, and I don't really want to just look down in the Southlands, because I don't want to miss out on Nagaron and the sword and all that lovely stuff. So by doing it this way, we'll be able to look around, and as you can see, everyone pretty much starts off in the exact same position. We'll also be keeping an eye on Carrick 8 Peaks as well, seeing who goes ahead and claims that. The moment is being held by the Crooked Moon, but maybe that will change, who well knows. So let's go ahead and just jump through and see if anything crazy happens. So I believe Steel Faith Overhaul allows you to go ahead and set a few parameters before really diving into the campaign. We have this capping system where we go ahead and prevent certain factions from using a ton of units. We're just going to go ahead and stick along with the recommended one, basically just to get the best outcome, I think. We also have another decision to make, whether or not we want the Empire to basically be united in one, not being able to declare war on one another. I feel like because we're playing as Archaon, I'm not sure how the Steel Faith Chaos event will fire, if it will fire, because we are obviously Archaon. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and say the rumors are false. I feel like the Empire loves to say stuff like that, and we're gonna basically mean it so that everyone can fight each other, because it would kind of suck if the Empire just was so peaceful. They would obviously dominate the entire world. I know for a fact that Steel Faith does make the Chaos events much harder towards the end of the game, so that's obviously one of the reasons why you can kind of unify the Empire and basically just let them slowly confederate. But you never know, we might see another power greatly coming to the forefront of the Empire. Who knows what we'll see. Okay, so I think our final setup bit is the Beastmen Rising event. We basically get to decide, do we want the Beastmen to come in? If we click yes, then they come in towards the mid and late game, making it easier for Chaos and Beastmen, but obviously, as we're not playing, we want to make it harder for everyone else, so we will go ahead and allow the Beastmen to rise up tall and allow them to set fire to the woods. Okay guys, so we're about 24 turns into the campaign so far, and I think the biggest kind of push out of all the factions is definitely the Greenskins. They're really pushing their way forward, and I think they're the highest power ranking major faction. Yeah, they're the strongest in the game at the moment with the most armies, 6 settlements. So Norsca do actually have a few more cities than them, but overall, army wise, they are the strongest. Interesting enough, Kislev have 10 cities up here in the north, and yet they're not actually the highest power ranking. Norsca have also confederated a little bit, not with Wintertooth, but with a few of the other chiefs, so the infighting is basically done. Over near Nagaron, Malekith is doing okay, but I think he's actually being pushed in pretty heavily by the rats up here, so that's interesting to see that they're making their way down. In Ulth 1, nothing much is really happening. Tyrion is expanding along the coast like he tends to do, but nothing too crazy. In the south, the Lizard Men have actually created themselves a nice little pocket of resistance right there. Tetlus hasn't really done much, and Clan Pestilence has not done anything much either. However, Queek is expanding northwards. We don't really see him go this far, and he definitely has the opportunity to continue to go north. However, obviously the Greenskins are in his way, and if the Greenskins end up confederating with the Top Knots, which inevitably they will do. All the greenskins seem to confederate fairly quickly. It's going to be hard for him to push northwards, and Cetra hasn't really done anything either. One of the most interesting things though is Belegar is actually stepping his game up for turn 24. You very rarely see Belegar do anything crazy, and he's actually pushed into Weisenland, taking out a bit of the Empire. I'd be interested to see who he's actually at war with. I mean, we can go ahead and take a look right now. If we move all the way down and find his faction. Actually, no, there's an easier way to do that, right? You just double click on him like that. Yeah, it's such a nice thing in Warhammer 2. So he's military allies with Weisenland. So who did he take out then? That he was hold this. Maybe one of the orcs must have got that, because he's at war with basically all the orcs and some. Oh, I think he starts off at war with Queek maybe, because he's already fighting them. But it's very interesting to see that that's happening. The vampire counts as well aren't really doing very good. They're fighting the dwarfs right now, and they're kind of struggling. The dwarfs have united, but they're still, busy fighting away. Oh my god, and they're busy fighting away against the greenskins. And the bloody spheres have already taken away the Pillar of Grugni. Did they never take it back? It's going to be interesting to see how that develops. So that's the overall map. You can have a quick look there, and let's continue on. Okay, so we are now 54 turns into the campaign, and oh my god, the dwarfs have gone on an absolute tear. They've gone ahead and smashed the greenskins down here. I don't think they're actually at war with the proper Grimgor or Greenskin faction. However, they are just they are at war with them. They just obviously have not exchanged much. But yeah, they basically just confederated with the factions to the north and pushed their way down south. And if the dwarfs are doing this at turn 54, they're going to have an absolute monster empire by the time the late game does turn around, as we're going to be running this up to turn 200 to see. As well as that, the Empire have done a pretty insane job as well. Marienburg to the north here, securing all of this territory. Kislev and whoever this is, it begins with a T. I can't remember though, have done a great job over here. It doesn't even say. Oh yeah, Talabakland have done a great job over there as well, securing the northern mountains away from the dwarfs. And Norska don't look like they're doing that great, considering like normally Norska have a really strong advantage in the early game. They're not really doing that great, especially as Bretonia are pouring into the Norskan wastelands. We also have the forces of, is it Carcassonne here? Taking some of this territory to the north. Does look like Skaven Blight is still standing. The Tomb Kings have finally started to kick their armies into overdrive, taking a large portion of the desert, with Queek as well, securing the odd bit of territory here and there. Still, no one is closer to securing Carrick 8 Peaks yet. The Wood Elves have even moved their way down the south of the old world, interestingly enough. Over in the center of Ulthuan, we have the forces of the High Elves securing this long part of Ulthuan. However, not confederating with the west part of Ulthuan, which is surprising. We didn't manage to do that in my other campaign. Nagaron is still held by the Dark Elves, so no one's made a big push there. However, they have basically secured this border away from the Rat Men and pushed them back, and then you also have this Dark Elf faction moving across. So if Malakiv wants to go ahead and confederate with any of these Dark Elf factions, then he's going to become very big very quickly. We do, though, have some Skavens securing a nice bit of territory for themselves here. As we go further down, yeah, we can now finally see that Mazdamundi is going hard over in the New World there, securing the south, confederating. Is he at war with this Lizardmen faction? Yeah, he's actually at war with this other Lizardmen faction, so we've got some infighting there going on with the Lizardmen. Tetlus is starting to take a few provinces, but not really doing anything. Clan Pestilence have secured a few more of the mountains, killing themselves some dwarfs. Last Defenders holding, not anything crazy. The Last Defenders at war with anyone? Just at war with some of the vampires, so they're not really looking to expand too heavily. And interesting enough, let's have a look who's number one at the moment on the strength rating. Yeah, the High Elves are obviously followed by Marienburg and then Mazdamundi. Norska aren't too far behind. So yeah, we actually have two High Elf factions in the top 5. Then the Beastmen, you got some Tomb Kings for Dwarfs. So the Dwarfs and the Greenskins are surprisingly pretty low down, which is something I didn't expect. Who has the most cities at the moment? The Dwarfs have the most cities, but their armies are obviously lacking right now. Whereas Mazdamundi is strength rating 3 and has 12 cities. So And the elves are obviously strength rating 1 as well. So overall, pretty crazy start. I did not expect Marienburg to be as big as they are. I kind of expected Elf 1 to do what Elf 1 does every single time. But some interesting stuff, and I think over the next 50 turns, we're going to see a big explosion down here in the south. The greenskins and the dwarfs really deciding who wins there. Also, interesting to note as well that the greenskins still hold, the whole of the Silver Road right here, that the dwarfs normally keep hold of. So that's pretty interesting that they still hold all of that. I mean, the dwarfs don't really have any armies down here either, so the greenskins can really push. We even have some vampires sticking around there and pouring through against the border prince. Yeah, where are the dwarven armies? Got greenskins up here. Oh my god, we've got Warsack up here as well. He's actually breaking through the mountain along with his war army. So yeah, where the hell are all the dwarven armies? I literally can't see them on the map. I mean, there's one there, obviously, but where are the other ones? I mean, they must be deep in enemy territory somewhere, maybe down here to the south. I mean, we have a army right here. Yeah, here's Thorgrim, level 18. Holy crap, the greenskins are not messing around. My god, they've just gone ahead and confederated with basically all the other greenskin tribes, and they are very, very scary right now. The dwarfs are in disarray. They've even got this lone outpost at the mines right here, which is soon to be taken by Skarsnik, and yeah, that's not going to be great. So I guess Skarsnik does technically hold Karakate Peaks right now, because that's what the greenskins hold, and he is a legendary lord for them. Yeah, the dwarfs are not looking pretty great. I think if we take a look at their power ranking, they're 49th in the world, which really is not very good. It's actually kind of a bit embarrassing for the dwarfs, but who knows, they do flourish in the late game, so they might come back. All hell has kind of broke loose over in the in Norska as well, with a lot of these places being raided by the beastmen as they come in. As I keep on saying, like, it does look like Tyrion is still strength rating 1, so he has the strongest armies. It's just, he's not really putting them to use. He hasn't really invaded anyone or done anything too crazy. The Dark Elves still hold majority of their lands. They just need to confederate themselves, if they can. Can the Dark Elves confederate? I think they can, they're just not at the moment. The Lizard Men, again, have secured a whole nice little bit of territory for themselves. Tetlus still isn't really doing much, but we might see him expand. We do, however, see Clan Moors go to war with the Greenskins. So Queek Headtaker might be starting to make his way northwards and trying to take on this huge Green Tide. But even still, even though the Green Tide do have all of these cities, they only strength rating 5, so there are still stronger factions in the game. That's going to be the High Elves, it's going to be the Tomb Kings, got the Mazda Mundi, even the Empire are looking pretty strong. And if you take a look at the Empire's size, they're not really looking that great, right? They've only got like 4 or 5 cities. I guess they just must have a lot of armies, because there's still a lot of these provinces are still individual states. Belagar himself has taken another province away from the border princes here, so he's starting to edge himself closer to the greenskins. But I mean, they're going to be ones to watch. It's whether or not the dwarves can rally and then start to push back, but I can just not see any of the dwarven armies like anywhere whatsoever. So I just don't think the dwarves have it in them in Steel Faith, and they're going to be getting wiped out in this battle, or in this game, I think, for sure. So let's go and jump ahead. I'm really interested to see how Queek and the Tomb Kings react. So I think the Tomb Kings... Okay, so the Tomb Kings aren't at war with the Greenskins, but they're at war with Queek. So it's going to be very interesting as well to see how that one plays out, because it's not really like Queek can advance north whilst he has to deal with the Tomb Kings. So I think over the next like 50 turns, we'll see these two factions kind of wipe one another out until one becomes stronger, and then they'll push up. Also, it'll be interesting to see how the dwarves handle everything, and then finally if the elves actually decide to go out of Ulf 1 and move somewhere else, because I don't think, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, Malekith is at war with Tyrion now, so maybe he's coming for the sword, just beelining for it. Who knows what will happen? But yeah, let's jump ahead and see how this goes down. Confederation Nation. As we basically make our way to turn 100, we can see that all the big sides are now starting to combine their forces. Besides the Empire still seem to lack the ability to confederate at the moment, which is definitely going to hinder them. But overall, we can see in Ulf 1, Tyrion has basically just confederated with everyone who isn't Alariel, as she does actually start her invasion of the Nagaron wastes to the north. The Dark Elves are still yet to really build up, and I can't even see Malekith. Is this Malekith? This isn't, right? No, this is Morathi. So I guess Morathi's confederated with Malekith to build that up. Down here in the south as well, we can see that Morathi is actually starting to hit the Lizardmen as they form up. Tetla's still not really doing much, but this is the big boy right here. We have the forces of the Tomb Kings just smashing away over towards this east, really making their progress known. And then we also have Clan Pestilence confederating with Queek Headtaker as well. So now that they have kind of a much broader empire, and I believe they also have a province or two. No, the Skaven do have a province or two up here, but that's going to be a different faction up here. This is a different clan, so they've obviously secured a lot of this. So Skaven Blight is making its way into the world. I think we can maybe even see the corruption as well of the Skaven lands. Just about. Not really anything too crazy. The vampiric corruption obviously very, very dominant in the Vampire Count's lands, obviously. And the Chaos corruption seeping its way into the world, but, you know, they definitely don't really do too much in the early game, or I guess we're now in the mid-game for some time. But it'll be interesting to see how that does develop. Again, over the past 20 or so turns, the Dwarfs haven't really done much. They confederated with Belagar, but even still, they're struggling to really stick on. I mean, the main real, like, you know, dominant factions at this moment in the campaign is obviously going to be Tyrion and the rest of the High Elves with Ilariel. Then we have the Tomb Kings down to the south. The Greenskins have maybe formed more armies. I mean, we can take a look. No, look at that. I mean, look how big the Greenskins are, mate. Power ranking 52. I'm power ranking 57, and I haven't even been playing. So I don't really know what they're up to. If we take a look at the top ranks, we can see it's going to be the High Elves with 23 cities. Kislev only have 4 cities left, but they're power ranking 2. That's crazy. They must have some really strong armies. Obviously, Cetra, the Imperishable, down in the south, not serving but ruling. Our Ilariel up here as well. I mean, she's done a great job considering both the High Elves are up there. Then we have Morathi, followed by the Lizardmen of Mazda Mundi. Britonia being a kind of standout. The Beastmen of the Vampire Counts, and then some more Tomb Kings. So as we make our way into the late game, we can just see the High Elves once again just blowing up. After taking Ulf 1, they've just pushed into Nagaron, and they're really starting to make their way northwards. Ilariel pushing as hard and fast as she can with pretty big stacks of armies. Unfortunately, we can't see what she's built them of, but we can see they are pushing up nicely. However, we do have a few Dark Elf armies up here which are going to be preventing her easy push northwards towards Nagaron, but I just don't think Morathi really has it in her anymore, especially once the you know, if Tyrion turns up, cutting off her resources down in the south of the Lizardmen territory. So once these provinces are cleared up, which they will be, I imagine, fairly soon by Tyrion and the rest of his boys, then it's a really easy push just to clear out the rest of Nagaron. As well as that, the Tomb Kings have exploded in size, starting to push into the Greenskins, and they're making their way as far north as they can, closing even in on Carrack 8 Peaks. Talking of Carrack 8 Peaks, it is actually being beaten back as well, with the Dwarfs actually taking the Valor's Sorrow. They could easily march on Carrack 8 Peaks. Granted, it does have a pretty insane garrison, but they easily could, and it's kind of like the Dwarf revival now as they've secured the territory in the north. The Empire has also started to confederate with all of the Empire states. Have they done it with everyone? I think they have, yeah. The Empire has confederated with all the other Elector Counts. However, we do also have the Von Carsteins actually securing Altdorf. Wow! And I think, yeah, Cole Franz himself is preparing to reclaim it. That is pretty epic right there. Seeing Cole Franz just on the edge, ready to go back and reclaim it from the undead. God, this is like without the chaos really coming in. And the Empire's having a very hard time with it. I would hate to see what they'd be like if the Chaos, you know, did spawn in and start doing a lot of damage. Take a look at Vampiric Corruption as well. You can see it is spreading throughout the old world pretty heavily. Even the Vampire Coast spreading it a little bit, and some of the Tomb King factions down here. If we quickly take a look at the power strengthening as well, we can see that Cetra has actually taken the #1 rank right now. The Beastmen also have the 2nd rank as well, as they, I imagine, are also just ravaging whatever is around. They are at war with a lot of people, but they're allied with the Vampire Counts, which I imagine is giving the Vampire Counts access to pour into the Empire. The Elves have dropped down to 3, but I mean, Ilariel is up here as well. Is she? Where is Ilariel? Yeah, she's 19. I guess she must have lost a lot of armies. But I mean, either way, you know, Tyrion and his brother have now confederated, so they're going to be pretty strong. The dwarves have jumped up to power ranking 4, so we can see them going high, and then finally Mazdamundi, the Wood Elves, and also Marathi are still all holding in there as well. So as we move towards the end of the campaign itself, obviously we're only going to 200 turns, so in basically another 40 turns left. We can see that Alariel has just gone mad in the wastes of Nagaron, really just pushing Marathi back. She is like 1 step away from Nagaron, if not 2 steps away, very close to getting the sword, and yeah, she's doing a lot of damage, along with Tyrion in the south. The lizard men of Mazdamundi haven't really done much else besides just stick around down here in the south. They've caused a bit of issues for Clan Pestilence, breaking away a few of their provinces, but nothing too crazy. The Tomb Kings as well have expanded, and they've basically taken over the entirety of the southern deserts. Not really planning to go across the mountains, and we can actually see Karak Noon, as well known, or how you pronounce it, doing nice as well, actually pushing back Clan Pestilence, who are basically being completely destroyed over on this continent. The Greenskins are getting completely enveloped, along with the support of the Tomb Kings and the Dwarfs uniting. The Vampire Counts actually making a large amount of ground down here in the south towards Skavenblight in these lost Dwarven holds, which is pretty cool to see them actually going back aggressive. Have the Empire taken back Altdorf? No, they have not. But Col Franz and Belzar Gelt are just doing rings around this. I'm sure they're going to try at some point. We do have the, oh wow, look over here, Bretonia has been completely taken over by the Red Duke, doing a nice job there, coming out of hiding. I could have sworn he wasn't over here throughout the campaign, but maybe I just must have missed him, and he's definitely made his push. So the Vampire Counts are really coming into their own towards the end. Norsca is just a pit of squabbling between Wintertooth and also the normal Norscan faction. And really the only other interesting thing is Kislev getting smashed up by what remains of the Skaven. We quickly take a look at the power rankings before we do the last couple turns. We can see there's not many factions left, but there's still actually 47 factions left, which is quite a lot. Obviously, the Tomb Kings are first, followed by the Lizard Men. The Lizard Men just don't really have anyone to fight anymore, which is their biggest problem. The High Elves are going to be, you know, taking the 3rd and 5th spot with Marathi at number 4. The Dwarfs have managed to push themselves up to 6th. We also have the Followers and the Gash down here, spreading that corruption. The Wood Elves are surprisingly 9th, considering they only really have this. Oh my god, the Empire as well. Have they actually moved into the forest? The Empire have actually moved into the forest right next to the Oak of Ages. That's hilarious. I mean, they can't even take control of this land, and we also have some Skaven here as well. So, I mean, this is not what I expected. I expected the Empire to be massive, and the Dwarfs to do their thing, and the Elves to do their thing, but I didn't expect Skaven just to be as annoying, and the Vampire Counts to do as good as they have, really. So that's pretty cool so far. So we are now on turn 204, and may I say the world is a very different place than it was the last time we checked in on this campaign. My god, Clan Pestilence has basically gone ahead and gone complete man mode, or I should say rat mode, and have basically just ripped apart the Empire and left nothing in its wake. With the support of the Vampire Counts as well, they are just securing so much territory. The Wood Elves have been beaten out of their homeland by Musalar, which is just crazy, and they've kind of taken refuge in the mountains and also where the Border Prince once lived, as they cannot go back home anymore. Bretonia are still sticking around trying to reclaim their homeland, but with the aggressiveness of all the other factions, it's just really not going well. We also see a huge Skaven movement up here in the north. Again, I can't imagine the world how it would act when chaos turn up and rip through the old world. Like, it was just the good guys just have no chance whatsoever. The Dwarves do have a nice position right here, but again, they're being smashed by the Von Carsteins in the mountains pretty heavily. A few armies, you know, here and there, but even still, they're kind of struggling. We do have Belagar, level 30, holding his land here in striking distance of Castle Drakenhof, but then we obviously have, Vlad right here as well, ready to counter if needed to. However, the Dwarfs have pushed out a little bit here, taking Swatchenhof and also the fort right there. Two pretty big armies, Ungrim with Gromdale. We got a legendary Lord Party right here. My god, that's pretty epic. The Empire have also been pushed back, again, having hardly any territory left whatsoever. Down in the south, the Tomb Kings have basically reigned supreme, but boxing in the greenskins, so they're very much, you know, non-existent at this point in the campaign. I imagine it's only a matter of time until they do get taken out. Over in Ulthuan, the Elves and Elariel have gone ahead and unified into one big force, which has basically just made them an unstoppable progression army right now. However, Morathi is fighting back, taking a few lands, but there's only, what, two more? Yeah, there's only two more Morathi provinces down here, and once they're taken out, I don't really see much else happening. It'd be interesting to see if, for example, the Lizardmen decided to do anything and try and, you know, go to war with the High Elves or something. That could be pretty interesting. And obviously in the north, Morathi is just holding. And that's basically it for the campaign. So overall, the good guys have been absolutely spanked and tanked besides the High Elves. Everyone else really faltering. The Dwarves are still there. And if we take a look at the power rankings, they are still up there. They're 4th in the strongest power rankings. But I just feel like there's just so many evil factions that will gang up on them. Basically, everyone they're at war with is going to be painful at some point in the future. The Elves, the High Elves go ahead and take the top spot, followed by the Tomb Kings, Morathi, the Dwarfs, then the Lizardmen, and then a few other ones kind of scattered around the wings. And, you know, we are 206 turns into this campaign, and there's still 41 factions. Surprised that Musalon and the Red Duke are this week. Like, maybe Ratonia can actually take back their lands, and I don't know, it could be interesting. So yeah, if you guys want to see me continue this on to turn 400, let me know in the comments down below, and if this video gets, I don't know, 500 likes, I'll continue it on to turn 400, and we can see how this Steel Faith Overhaul world does develop over the time. But yeah, this has been it. If you guys enjoyed this, do make sure to drop a like and a comment, and obviously if you want to see more, please give me feedback on how you want me to do these videos in the future. Do you like this style? Do you prefer the other style of the previous time-lapse video, or would you prefer kind of like a mix of the both and put them together and kind of try and merge them that way? Let me know, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.